Okay, the next question that we have is also anonymous. So, if authoritarianism is your primary concern, what stops you from just becoming a libertarian? How do you draw the line between these civil liberties and what libertarians consider economic liberties?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I try and avoid labels of any kind because they tend to be reductive and kind of trap you into a set of thinking. But I would, if to the extent I've ever had to choose a political label for myself, I would choose civil libertarian, which is not the same as the question recognizes as being an economic libertarian, in the sense that I generally tend to side in defense of individual rights and freedoms against incursions by institutions of authority. Free speech, due process, a free press, all the rights that are guaranteed to check abuses of power by authoritarian institutions. When it comes to economics, a lot of libertarians always ask me, well, how is it that your theory doesn't apply exactly the same to giving power to the state to control our financial and economic lives? Doesn't that yield the same authoritarian abuses? And my answer is, it's an interesting abstract question, but it's not one that needs to be resolved now for this reason. And I actually just talked about this last night with Tucker Carlson, and a couple days ago on a video I did analyzing this GameStop Reddit story, which is, if you look at how left-wing economic theory is traditionally understood and described, it typically, at its core, advocates intervention into the economy on the part of the state for the purpose of benefiting the lives of the people who have the least, the neediest people, those who are the lowest income earners, to distribute income to them and wealth and provide better services through taxation. Right-wing economic ideology in its traditional sense, including libertarianism, but also orthodox Reaganomics, says the opposite, says we don't want any intervention in the economy by the state. Let the free market work itself out through laissez-faire economics. What we have now is neither of those. It's not like we have right-wing economics or left-wing economics. We have a government, a state that intervenes constantly in the economy. That's why all these corporations pay lobbyists huge amounts of money to influence what the government does when it intervenes, to ensure that they're the beneficiaries of that intervention. So we have constant intervention. It's not right-wing libertarianism, right-wing economics, but it's also not left-wing economics, because the state intervention is not being done to benefit the neediest, but to benefit the richest and the most powerful. That's who are the beneficiaries of that state intervention. At best, what we have is crony capitalism. So I think the left and the right have to be unified in opposition to this crony capitalism. And once it's uprooted, then you can have that debate about, can the free market really provide a decent minimal standard of living that we are all happy with in terms of living together in a society where maybe people are starving or without access to healthcare? Will the free market provide them that through the natural mechanisms? Or do we want to ensure that we have some kind of minimal standard of living that everyone in the society is entitled to by virtue of being a member, because that makes a better society? Those debates then can be had only once what we have now, this like monstrous bastardization of both theories, is defeated.